Dude, have you seen those videos of, like, guys who wear, like, watermelons, like, on their stomachs to, like, simulate, like, being pregnant when their wives are pregnant?
No, but I have seen that video of, like, the BuzzFeed guys from, like, 10 years ago when they, like, do, like, the electrical shocks to, like, stimulate the pain of giving birth.
Yeah. And, like, women are like, oh, like, that's, like, it's, like, whatever, like, it's not that bad. Well, imagine diving to the bottom of the ocean while pregnant.
I don't think I can.
Like, I feel like if I know you don't want to have kids, and me and my one child during that one pregnancy, I would be sitting there like a potato, like I can't move or do anything.
No.
But
No.
like walking on the bottom of the ocean.
Dude, I think walking is
Pregnant.
the ocean? What?
Yeah. Well, that's what today's woman in STEM did. So let's get into it. Ew. Sylvia Alice Earle was the second child born on August 30th, 1935 in Gibbstown, New Jersey to Alice Ritchie Earle and Lewis Reed Earle. She lived on a small farm alongside her parents and two brothers. Although neither of her parents were highly educated, they instilled a love for nature in Sylvia and were very supportive of her and her interest in the outdoors. She would collect pond creatures in jars and make observations in her notebook, a budding scientist, if you will. But when Sylvia was 13, her family moved to Dunedin, Florida, which is near Clearwater, Florida, which is more popularly known as Clearwater is where Winter the dolphin. Do you remember that? Winter's tail, the dolphin's no tail.
No.
Okay, well that's where Winter is from.
Cool.
She and Sylvia developed a love for coastal wildlife. She was an exceptional student and graduated high school at just 16 years old.
Subsequently, she received a scholarship from Florida State University where she majored in botany. At FSU, she became a certified scuba diver, which was critical to her ability to study ocean plants up close and personal. So, fun fact, SCUBA stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. It's always something. Always something.
Yeah, anyway. I thought scuba was just like, oh, they named it scuba.
I thought so too, but this makes more sense. But yeah, so Sylvia graduated with her bachelor's in 3 years at the age of 19 in 1955. After that, she went straight into a master's program at Duke University to continue her studies on botany, which she completed in a single year. Now, so here's where we get a little bit fuzzy in the timeline. Like, A, we don't have access to all of the scientific journals that contain info on Sylvia's life, so we're kind of relying on Wikipedia a little bit. And B, there isn't a ton of information about Sylvia's young life. So at some point, she began her PhD with her work focusing on algae in the Gulf of New Mexico.
During her studies, she met John Taylor, who was a zoology graduate student. My dad loves to mention that he was a zoology major in undergrad. That's like me, like, becoming a doctor and being like, actually, I was a genetics major.
I feel like a zoology to a microbiology pipeline is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Cool.
My dad also really liked plankton. But John Taylor and Sylvia got married, and they had a daughter, and they had a son, and then Sylvia got right back to her dissertation and divorcing John.
Wait, she got married and divorced in 2 sentences?
Yes. Yes, she did. Okay. I think they were married for like 5. Wait. Yeah, so they got married in 1957, and then they got divorced in 1963. Is that 5 years? I think that's 5 years. Okay, yeah.
Wait, that's 6 years.
That's 6 years. We can do math. But,
okay.
Sylvia said no matter. She's moving on with her life. So in 1964, she was invited by the National Science Foundation on a 6-week voyage to the Indian Ocean. Sylvia was a pioneer in this field, and even though times were slowly starting to change, people did believe that women belonged in, like, the home, or, like, the kitchen. And having a woman on ship was bad luck. Like, just throughout history, it's always been, like, having a woman on ship is bad luck, which I don't really know why.
Huh.
I don't know what, like, the superstition, because, like, I'm wondering if it used to be, like, with, like, mermaids, and it's like, oh, like, men can be lured by the siren song, but women can't, and so they can't truly ever understand the scene. I definitely just made that up. But, like, it's always been a thing that, like, women are bad luck on ships.
Okay.
Regardless, Sylvia took this opportunity as quickly as she could because women weren't typically offered experiences like this, but she was used to this, sadly. So from 1964 to 1966, she journeyed from Galapagos Island, Chilean coast, Panama Canal. I saw in some place she went to China and
How did she do all of this?
she did already a lot of stuff.
Especially when she already had, 2 kids?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where were the kids?
Great question. No idea.
Okay.
But in just wait, she's doing something all the time. So in 1965, she gets appointed as the resident director of Cape Hayes Marine Laboratories in Sarasota, Florida. And then during all of this, she was working full time. She was also working towards her thesis and doctorate. So, yeah. Then in 1966, she officially received her PhD in botany from Duke, which I still think it's really funny that her degree's in botany and not marine science or something.
Right.
But her thesis was related to the ocean. It was titled Firefighter of Eastern Gulf of Mexico. And she collected over 20,000 samples using scuba to catalog for her dissertation, making her one of the first scientists to do so. And her work actually ended up being published in 1969.
Cool. So also in 1966, Sylvia met her husband, number 2, Dr. Giles W. Mead, the curator of fishes at the Harvard Museum of Comparative Zoology. Are you confused about what a curator of fishes is? Because I sure am. So, apparently a curator of fishes is an ichthyologist, aka fish scientist, and they take care of all of the fishes in the institution. So I do believe that this includes fish that are both dead and alive. So, like all the strange specimens in jars, which is kind of cool. It's honestly pretty creepy, but in a cool way. So then, in 1967, Sylvia joined Giles at Harvard after becoming a research fellow at the Farlow Herbarium of Harvard University as a research scholar at the Radcliffe Institute.
So she was a research fellow at the Herbarium, and then she was also a scholar at the Radcliffe Institute, which were both at Harvard.
I see. So she's just double dipping.
Yes. Again, so confused where her kids are and what they're doing.
Which is great, awesome, good for her, because a lot of the times I feel like having children kind of stops all of your own dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
But I am interested to be able to
right, where did they go? Because there's no information about them whatsoever.
Right. Maybe her parents were still alive?
Maybe he was just, I don't know. Maybe husband number 1 was
he wanted to be a little single dad.
Yeah.
Anyways. So in 1968, she joined the Smithsonian's Man and Sea Project and ventured to the Bahamas, where she discovered undersea dunes. Wow. So they're similar to sand dunes that we have on land, but they're obviously underwater, and instead of being shaped by the wind, they're shaped by the ocean's currents. That same year, she dived in a submersible called the Deep Diver and descended 100 feet below the surface. She was the first woman to do so, and on top of that, she was 4 months pregnant. And then her daughter was born in that July.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she was on the ocean floor.
Dude, that's crazy.
Pregnant. I'm pretty sure they tell pregnant women not to, fly in the air.
They tell you not to fly. They tell you not to do a lot of things.
And she said no.
But she went on a submersible?
She went in a submersible. Crazy work.
Cool.
So, in 1969, Sylvia applied to join the Tektite project run by the U.S. Navy, Department of the Interior, and NASA. I do think it's cool that NASA's underwater.
Yeah.
It's because they underwater and outer space are low-key kind of similar. They train astronauts in pools.
Yes.
But yeah, so
what is? Oh, never mind. You're probably about to explain what the project is, aren't you?
Yes, I am. So, Tektite project was considered one of the greatest, but also one of the most dangerous marine research projects at that time. The idea was quote unquote scientists at sea. But this means that researchers would be living underwater while also doing research underwater. And the way that the habitat is described, you would hate this. So this is a quote. 2 white metal cylinders, 4 meters in diameter, 6 meters high, joined by a flexible tunnel and seated on a rectangular base in 15 meters of water. To get air, water, and electric power, multiple cords extended from the habitat to the shore, and sewage was deposited by a pipe 300 meters away to a site 22 meters deep. Basically, she was living in a metal tube. Well, she wasn't. Researchers were living in a metal tube. 2 metal tubes connected by another metal tube.
All it takes is one big fish to take a bite out of those cords, and that's it.
Yum yum. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So, it low-key, like, I saw a picture of it, it looks like a metal grave, was just, like, they just dropped it in, like, the middle of, like, the U.S. Virgin Islands. A fancy grave, but a grave nonetheless. So, it had, like, household items also, which I do think is funny. Like, there were dryers, there were hot showers, there was a freezer, there was carpet. I don't know why you put carpet underwater, but they put carpet underwater.
Maybe for, like, peace of mind.
I suppose. And there was, like, a TV. But, like, I thought it was, like, you know how they go camping and we're like, all right, gotta piss on the tent patio. I thought it was gonna be like that. But, like, it's, like, a whole little mini hotel in there, and a lot of them actually said they forgot that they were underwater.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. The only thing I think, like, reminded them was, like, they'd have, like, portholes, and they'd be like, oh, there's a shark.
Wow, okay. Dang, I don't even know what to say about that. But now, unfortunately, Sylvia was actually rejected from Tektite
1.
Tektite 1, okay, because she was a woman. The reason wasn't because, oh my goodness, women aren't qualified. It wasn't that. Sylvia was plenty qualified with her 1,000 underwater research hours. It was because the Navy didn't want men and women sleeping in the same chambers. So, the next year, they came crawling back and asked her to be like the leader person of Tektite 2. She led a team of 15 women, the first female aquanauts to live and study 50 feet below the surface for 2 weeks. During this time, they conducted many studies on coral and specifically the effect of pollution on the reefs. When Sylvia and her team returned, they were basically like little celebrities. They were invited to the White House. They had a whole little parade in Chicago. It was a really big deal that like people could like sort of live underwater. But Sylvia used her newfound platform to bring awareness about marine life and conservation and the beauty of our oceans.
Soon after this expedition, Sylvia and Giles moved to Los Angeles, California, where Sylvia began teaching at UCLA and giving talks on ocean exploration worldwide. Like, she was traveling like crazy. Like, she was constantly going somewhere. And during this time, she also started collaborating with the National Geographic Society. Perhaps you've heard of them. But she got into media production and worked with Nat Geo to create books and films on the Earth's ocean. And that occupied her for about 6 years. And, like, low-key, she sounds like she has ADHD. Like, she does not want to stay. Not that she's like, oh, like, I can't hold a job. It just seems like she wants to, like, jump around and do things. And it's, like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, like, I feel like most people who are in science, they're, like, I have this one organism that I'm going to study for 20 years and never move away
Like, you kind of pick one thing and you settle down. It seems like she's kind of like, oh, this is super cool, but, like, now I'm interested in here's new idea thing.
Yeah. Well, then at some point in 1975, Sylvia said bye-bye to Giles, bye-bye to husband number 2, and divorced him.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long were they together?
1966 to 1975. So, 11 years.
But that's... Okay.
So in 1979, Sylvia became the curator of phycology at the California Academy of Sciences. So she basically, she looked after algae. Because phycology, the study of algae, she looked over. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Sassafras.
Bro. This is kind of random, but it kind of makes me sad that, like, because we don't know a lot about her or there weren't a lot of records kept, it's like, she discovered this, then she divorced this guy, then she did this, then she remarried, then she had 2 kids.
Dude, I was like trying to compare so many different sources and this was all I could find. And like she did a lot of cool stuff, but it's just like like timeline. It's basically just a timeline.
Yeah, so we just get like, I don't know, discovery whiplash.
Yes.
Yeah.
There isn't much about like her private life and like other stuff.
That's really tough, so you can only just imagine.
Yeah.
So now, on September 19th, 1979, this was a monumental day for Sylvia. She dived/walked on the ocean floor, untethered for 318 meters.
At 318 meters. So like deep.
I see. Or basically 1,250 feet for us Americans below the surface in the Pacific Ocean near Oahu, Hawaii. She did this in a JIM suit, which is a special diving apparatus that pretty much looks like a spacesuit. So by doing this, she set a women's record that she still holds to this date. That's quite impressive. I think at the time it was the deepest that anybody had ever gone, but I think now it's the deepest that just any woman has gone at the moment. But she got carried to the ocean floor by a submersible and then just kind of like explored the ocean floor for right under 3 hours, which sounds like a lot of fun. It's kind of eerie because you're the only person down there, and if anything happens, like, that's it, that's the end. But I imagine it would be kind of peaceful and serene in a weird way. In 1980, she published a book called Exploring the Deep Frontier, which she collaborated with Al Giddings on. Al was an undersea photographer, and they followed sperm whales through a battleship graveyard in the South Pacific, which eventually ends up becoming part of a documentary film called The Gentle Giants on the Pacific.
Then from 1890 to 1980 to 1984, I always do this, Sylvia served on the National Advisory Committee on Oceans and Atmosphere, great heavens, which was basically the NOAA of its time. And then in 1982, Sylvia met husband number 3, Graham Hawkes. He was an engineer and submersible designer, and they got married in 1986. Together, they founded Deep Ocean Engineering, which designed, operated, supported, and consulted. They did things with underwater ocean engineering. Yippee. She made underwater robots to study oceans.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, mind you, her degrees are in plants.
Right, so this doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, this is how I imagined Kate's career would be.
Yeah.
It's like she gets her degree in like one thing and then like goes off and does like something completely different.
Yeah.
But in 1990, Sylvia became the chief scientist for the actual NOAA. And if you don't know what NOAA is, it's the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. And they're the reason we know about like weather reports and hurricanes. And Ev and I have a small suspicion that because NOAA got defunded, that's why the weather predictions are always so wrong nowadays.
R.I.P. our tent.
Yeah, R.I.P. our tent. We got blown away last week. But we survived. Anyways, Sylvia was the first woman to be the chief scientist for NOAA, and during this time she led several research trips to the Persian Gulf War was like before our time, but like the Gulfs were warring. Actually, maybe it wasn't, but like they were fighting over oil. The Middle East and the oil, and they were fighting. And Sylvia like went over there and she's like, but how is the oil impacting the environment? Because like I'm pretty sure Iran like blew up Kuwait's oil.
Probably.
And then they all seeped into the Persian Gulf. And they were like, but the creatures!
Yeah.
So she was like, let me tell you how much you just destroyed the creatures.
Good for her. Somebody needs to.
Mm-hmm.
In 1992, she left NOAA to found the Deep Ocean Exploration and Research Marine to advance marine engineering. Mind you, she got her start in plants. Now, this is very far from that. So now Sylvia's daughter, Elizabeth, runs the company and designs deep ocean equipment. In 1998, Nat Geo named her as the first female explorer in residence.
Explorer in residence, I messed that up.
That's okay. So she was the first female explorer in residence. She is lovingly referred to as Her Deepness, or the Sturgeon General.
The Sturgeon General.
That's funny. So she's continued to spend her life advocating for the environment and oceans and has won numerous awards. If we try to go through everything, this would just be an episode of 5 million awards, and it would take 5 million minutes as well. But Sylvia's legacy continues on today through her foundation, Mission Blue, which works towards marine conservation and, well, herself. So she is still alive, by the way, in the great 2025. She is 90 years old and still kicking it. Sylvia is out here today advocating for the oceans. As of now, she currently has 27 honorary degrees, 200 publications, 13 books, and over 100 expeditions, and 7,000 hours of dive time. How much is that in, like, days? Probably a lot.
7,000 hours to days. 291 days.
Wow. Wow, that's almost a year of her life just underwater.
Yeah.
She is rightfully considered by the Library of Congress to be a living legend, as in she holds the title of living legend.
Today we remember the ongoing life and legacy of Dr. Sylvia Earle. We're reminded that her story is more than just a chronicle of ocean exploration. It's a call to action. Through decades of deep-sea dives, groundbreaking research, and relentless advocacy, Sylvia has shown us that protecting the ocean is not just about preserving beauty or biodiversity, it's about ensuring our own survival. Sylvia has redefined what it means to be a scientist, an explorer, and a steward of the planet. She challenges each of us to look beyond the surface, to understand every choice we make ripples to the sea. So I hope you learned something cool, and we will see you in the next episode. See you. And happy Halloween!
Yippee!